wanted to do a Friday Reads video because I've actually been reading. Still not like at a tremendous pace or anything, but I cracked 30 books, which is still, I think it's behind schedule, but it's still 30 books in the year, so that's pretty good, especially since I've been all over the place headspace wise. But yeah, I cracked that, which is great. So I finally would have had a Friday Reads where I could have shared a bit more about the books I've read recently, but I didn't make that video. My birthday was Saturday, and then I lost a whole bunch of time. Oops. But now I'm back, so it's not a Friday Reads video, it's just gonna be a video. So I'm gonna share with you the book that I'm currently reading. It's not the book that I was going to read next originally, but this one I had ordered through indigo.ca, and there's a Smith Books in the mall across the street, the Dying Mall, and I'm a little worried because when the TD Canada Trust moves, they're like consolidating the one from the one end of the town, the other from the other end of town, and making like one in the middle by the whole super center area. Not a fan, especially for getting there for people that are seniors or whatever. Anyway, rambling, but the thing is that I know that when I get out of the bank, there's the bookstore, and although I don't buy a lot in the bookstore, specifically small town, and yes, it does have not a bad selection, but it's not like my experiences in some of the more awesome bookstores like that I experienced in Toronto. But you know what? The place has a, I have been able to pick books there. If I go looking and don't hold it against them when they've had Shakespeare next to Kardashians, I do actually like the store. And what I really love is that you can order books online and they can be delivered to your nearest store or desired store outlet, and you can pick them up, so you don't have to pay shipping. So that's what I've done with this store when I finally realized that. Not that I still don't browse, I do, and it's hard not to buy a book when in the store, but I've managed to. But this is when I bought online. So, and I'm this far into it, which is pretty good because my concentration isn't very good. I've said that before. I struggle a bit. And I'm about 200 pages in. It's about a 300 and something page book, 328. I find that this one, I'm not new to the idea of radical acceptance because, well, although I haven't read this book, this is a book we bought. Radical acceptance is a key component in mindfulness. We do want to get into this book. Both my husband and I should. It's based on cognitive behavior therapy, and then there's dialectical behavior therapy, which incorporates a mindfulness and the Zen Buddhist practices that have worked, especially for people with personality and or anxiety and or depression and or various mental health issues. So it worked very well for me the first time around when I went through it, although I went through another crisis. And of course it doesn't sustain if you don't practice it. And I'm not meditating daily, but this book, it's really speaking to me. A lot of it is about fear. And obviously that's a big component of anxiety. Duh. And then now I'm getting into, after fear, what am I getting into now? I think it's something more about, compassion for yourself. That is so tough, but if I learned that, I feel like, wow, my whole world would change. Not everything around me. I mean, my perspective on everything, including myself, and how horrible I am to myself all the time in my brain. I think that's a key component to healing, you know? So I would have to say the writing is good. There's some great quotes. There's some great, not quotes like not cheesy in between quotes. It's like, I don't know. It's good. It's good. And anything that includes Rumi is good too. But it's not just, it goes a little deeper because she is as well a therapist. So that helps. Oh, I kind of wish she was my therapist. Because, yeah, some of this stuff, it's just, I'm recommending this to anyone who might. Radical acceptance is very hard for people who, but yet what we need, for those of us who are extremely hard on ourselves, we've either got layers of trauma and self-loathing and pain, maybe external judgments and situations that have affected us in a traumatic way. Maybe just something we didn't get the nurturance and what we quite needed growing up from those in our lives. So you have to, comes a time, I think, you know, it's up to ourselves, you know, like I'm not, she ain't a child no more. I'm not a child no more. And I really want to work on this stuff. I know I'm going too long about this, but it's so important to me because I know that this has worked before for me, the radical acceptance. No, it doesn't mean, oh, I'm just going to accept that everything's shitty. No, it's more about just accepting and embracing what is now, not living so much in the future, not living in the past, and acknowledging your fears, your thoughts, your feelings, but not as truth. You know, that, you know, it goes with the flow. Anyway, people who are into this sort of thing, I do recommend this one. I know it's hard to pick these various books because you never know who is right and what they're, you know, but I took a chance on this and I'm really glad. I mentioned in my last Friday reads that I really want to read this, especially after watching Chauncey Boddington's, I hope I didn't butcher your name, review about this. This is going to be read soon. It's just that I am reading Radical Acceptance, and you're just going to have to radically accept that I'm not reading this yet, but I have this here because I feel that this is, it's like about time that I read this. I'm also reading a collection of poetry right now that I bought from House of Anansi. I say it wrong. They are fantastic. Coach House Books and House of Anansi in Toronto are amazing. When I realized I could order online through them, I'm in love with them. I have this, like, I don't know who the people are, but I like how they're very nice to me. I of course tweet when I've received an order from them, when I've spent, and they appreciate the business, so that feels good that they appreciate that I put my money to them. And that's why another book that's on the way is a book by Lynn Crosby, who I've got Queen Rat and Liar. Liar, I recommend. I know we're on a poetry thing. If you have ever been into confessional poetry, like we're talking Anne Sexton, but you're also interested in a narrative poem, this confessional mode Liar it made me want to write about my relationships certainly the ones that emotionally just, this is amazing. So this writer is amazing, and in Toronto. But I bought her more recent book, which is like an imagining of if Kurt Cobain was reincarnated into a teenager and just different things. So I'm looking forward to reading that. So this is where I'm at in this poetry book. Poetry isn't lame. If you're not reading poetry, you're missing out on something really cool. It's different than you think. Like, if school made you hate it, you need to discover it for yourself, because you're going to find that there's so much out there that you can read in this genre. And you can read anybody from... I've got too many. Like, I'm looking down at my poetry bookcase, and the range, you know, like, I would be naming so many people. There's so much. There's so much out there. I love this shelf. I love how, you know, it's been expensive to put books into this collection, because they do tend to cost a little more, because poetry isn't like a massive market thing, but it's doing well, but poetry is alive and well, but these books are expensive compared to, let's say, well, no, they're not. To me, they aren't. But yeah, let's say 1995, okay? You might think of a fiction book that you just would think, nah, but you're missing, it's so full of stuff. And if you're into writing at all, read more poetry. I'm telling myself this, read more poetry. I have tons of poetry to still catch up on that I haven't read, that I've put into my shelf. So that's what I'm going to do. I would do a book haul of a couple books I received recently of them, but I've put them away, and, you know. And I know I already mentioned this one again in that other Friday reads. Or maybe I just did it in a Instagram clip. I have no idea. As I've said, I probably did in the Instagram clip that'll go into my monthly video. When you see June 2015, or when you'll see July 2015, that's like my monthly, what is it, document your life or whatever. That is so pretty, and it's done with the normal video and much more artsy, but mine are like Instagram clips, because I'm like, nobody looks at my Instagram, but I want to make these quick clips and then put them all into a video. So that's what I do, and that's how I show my month for the most part. But anyway, To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite classics, and I couldn't stay away from this. So this is, I would like to read this while people are still reading it and forming their opinions. See that? But I don't know that I will. Oh, look, Harperley's. I don't know that I will read it in time. But I'm feeling not so bad about having this book now, because I'm thinking about how, from what I've read, there's some things about just how your perspective as you get older. I'm thinking there's some value in this book, though I'm really glad To Kill a Mockingbird came out when it did. I mean, Gregory Peck, still, if you been on that movie, everybody wants him to be their daddy. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? Okay, in other news, this is still my paper journal. Oh, look at that. So bizarre. I wrote in this every day from when I started it, but I missed my birthday because I didn't get to write in time. And then the next day was kind of, and the next day was, well, last night. So I got to write in it. I'm still liking the pages very much. I'm liking the size of it. I bought at Indigo, I bought a like tall glass mason jar that can hold the amount of water I want to drink, so I'm not using plastic bottles anymore, so I can keep track. And it came with this. So I pasted that in. Rather than love, fame, money, give me truth, I throw. But I found that kind of, it's weird when you see like these profound quotes on items that you're buying to consume. I don't know how I feel about that. Is this supposed to make me feel better? I don't know. Although my 9-year anniversary vlog kind of made fun of the fact that I live in the same building that I did 9 years ago, so much happened in between then and now. I mean, I moved out of here. I lived in Toronto. I lived there for a few years. I had so many experiences there. And then I ended up back here by some, not expecting it. So, you know, this journey has been interesting. And I wish I could have done a more reflective vlog on my birthday, but I couldn't. I was kind of indisposed on my birthday. But I do think about my age. I do think about whether it's too late to really try at various things that I want to do. Writing, being creative, vlogging, but why can't I vlog? I can vlog, of course I can vlog, but the writing and being more like brave to try with things like writing a poem. I just feel like I have a lot of healing to do physically and emotionally, and that I'm actually in a good place to do it. But now it's about allowing myself to do it, and to I feel like I have the tools around me, not just within the books that I've bought over the years, that, you know, clearly I'm telling myself something. You know, not just that, but here's another one. You know, I need to read stuff like that. I think that it's not just that, it's other things I've set up for myself in this situation, and I guess I just want to get on with it, because especially in reading this book, Radical Acceptance, I just feel like I have wasted a lot of time with, you know, the self-loathing and the cycles of you know, being hard on myself, unnecessarily cruel to myself, and how that hasn't gotten me anywhere. So I would really like to change that.